Anytime I sit down to do a monthly recurring video like this, I'm caught between two feelings. The first feeling being, I can't believe it's already been a month. I just made that video. What are you talking about? And rewatching that old video, I'm like, holy crap, things were so different only a month ago, and it feels like I just made that video. In the time since that video, I've turned 31, which is uncomfortable. My kiddo started all-day preschool, so that's a major life change. My wife is getting a job upgrade of sorts, which is a life change. We had to buy a second car for that, which was a whole bucket of stress and energy spent. It's been a lot. But also, I woke up today and it was 57 degrees. That's Fahrenheit, lazy units, but it was cold. I got to put on pants for a little bit. I almost teared up. I love fall so much. So things are clearly changing, even though initially I was like, it hasn't been a month yet. What are you talking about? Games-wise, I've actually been playing a bunch of different stuff. I'm Addy. Welcome back to Lost Saves. This is a return of an older series that I did like 20 years ago that I want to keep up going again, of just talking about the games I'm playing lately. Not the games I beat. I'm not trying to be a completionist kind of person. It's not the newest games. Whatever. Just the games I'm playing and having fun with. Starting out, the footage that you've probably been watching has been Wukong, Black Myth Wukong. This is a Chinese mythology kind of story that has taken off with a lot of hype. It's definitely a big showcase for the Unreal Engine. It looks beautiful. It is incredibly intense to run. My big issue with it at the moment is you can't turn off any of the AI upscaling stuff. And so between that and frame generation, trying to get it to run decently and some sort of over sharpening effect the game does, there's just artifacts everywhere. Like, as beautiful as the game is, it's very distracting how much I can see the seams of whatever, trickery is being done to get it to run as well as it is on my machine, which is disappointing. But it's been fun so far, decently challenging for someone who sucks at Souls games, but not too challenging that I immediately want to put it down. So I've been enjoying it. I've only put like an hour into it. Don't have a whole lot to say about it so far, but I have started playing that mainly to make my video I just released about the discourse online about it. So felt like picking it up. I thoroughly enjoyed Neo back in the day. I streamed that back during my brief full-time streamer stint. And this feels in a similar vein of like difficult for me, but not too difficult that I can't get through theoretically. I just got to figure out some of the pacing and controls. I've also put in a little bit more time in Diablo Immortal on my iPad. I played it a bunch when it first came out and had a blast with it. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with monetization and whatever, but like it's a nice little light Diablo game. I'm enjoying it. I jumped in and did a couple of the like dungeon things because it's really hard to track what you're supposed to do if you've logged out for a long time and logged back in and you're still technically a new player, you haven't beat the game. Like, it's throwing a bunch of new mechanics at you of like, hey, do this thing so you can unlock the raids and do all these raids and whatever. And so I thought I was continuing my story, and instead I just did some raids to unlock some of the raiding capabilities. But it was fun. I want to get back into it. I missed the Diablo experience. But again, I only got to put like an hour into it so far. I don't know when I'll really be able to sit down with it. My latest Steam Deck obsession has been Monster Sanctuary. This is a blend of a almost like a Metroidvania with a Final Fantasy style game. And obviously there is the Pokemon connection due to the pets, the collectible animals that you catch and, well, you hatch them and train them and whatever. Obviously it's kind of like Pokemon in that way, but it's really more, it's like a blend of classic Pokemon and classic Final Fantasy with that Metroidvania thing. So you still gotta explore, unlock keys, backtrack, some of those annoyances of the Metroidvania genre, but then you do have the Pokemon aspect. And I've put quite a few hours into it at this point on my Steam Deck and am thoroughly enjoying it. And the music is beautiful. So it's just got basic battle mechanics. You got different moves. You've got combo points you build up. You get scores for your battles at the end, which control the rewards you unlock. And then there's bosses called champions that you can take on that are higher level and harder to beat, but will help you progress through the thing. And it's got this whole, there's 4 factions or whatever kind of thing that you choose your quote-unquote starter mon based off of. It's been a lot of fun, especially for something light to run on my Steam Deck. I'm really struggling to find the games that are easy to pick up and put down that I won't lose a lot of progress on my Steam Deck, and so that's been one that has been glorious to play. Over on the PC side, I had a few days recently around my birthday where I wanted some time where my family wasn't in the house but I was specifically in the house at that gaming PC so I could play some games that I can't play in front of my kiddo these days. And so I put in a good 3 or 4 hours into Cyberpunk. I got that is one of the rare games these days where I can just get truly immersed and kind of forget that I'm playing a game. This does not happen often, and I don't think it's a requirement. There are a lot of people, especially these days in videos and stuff, that talk about immersion in a game being required to enjoy it, and I think that holding that requirement is a little unhealthy, or at least from my perspective, because there's so many games out there you can enjoy that you still know you're playing a video game, and you can still have fun. But it's very rare for me to get like wholly immersed in a game these days. I have so many life responsibilities. I'm getting older. My body has pains. I've got a child to take care of. I've got pets. There's always something to pull me out. But with Cyberpunk, I am just in it, dude. Like when I have enough time to really sit down and play it, like I am just focused on playing, and it is a blast. The other one is Mullet Mad Jack. I think I'm saying that right. I keep writing it wrong every time I talk about it. Like I call it Mad Mullet Jack or Mad Jack Mullet. I think it's Mullet Mad Jack. It is a roguelike first-person shooter that has the combat pacing of like almost like an Arkham game or Warframe or something, where you have this like really rhythmic pacing to how you take out enemies. And the gimmick is that you are a quote-unquote moderator of a live stream. This sounds really cringy. The whole thing is supposed to be cringe. Like it's very based in 80s and 90s culture, where every line of dialogue, every reference, every image and sound you see and hear is some sort of reference to anime or 80s movies, you know, one-liners, action heroes, whatever, or live streaming culture. It feels like a game made specifically for me. It is super weird in that regard, that it's just like, it feels like someone said, hey, let's make this for Addy and not tell him about it, because I only just discovered it last month. But it is super addicting. You make it through floors of a building. You are this moderator on a live stream. I was describing the gimmick. I forgot. And the gimmick is that you only have like 10 seconds of life before you die, and then you get more life by killing the enemies and doing specific combos or whatever in the level. That way you can keep extending your life and make it to the end. And there's different weapons you can use and loadouts you can run through. It is a lot of fun. As someone who loves roguelikes and obviously loves the culture of the inspiration of the game that it wears, not just on its sleeve, but on its forehead, on its shirt, everywhere. It's a lot of fun. Had a little bit of downtime here and there that I could fit some gaming in, or some late nights. Kiddo's been, since he started school, has gotten sick 2 weekends in a row now. I've had some time where I could just sit and play on my Switch, and I've been trying to use that since it has such a good suspend feature that I can really, like, even bigger games I can just pick up and put down. I haven't been using sound, but I've been playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I love Warriors games. I've historically not been great at them, but I'm finally figuring it out, like, why I haven't been great, and so I've been doing pretty nicely here. Like, I've been great at the combat, but not on actually completing the objectives, historically. But in Hyrule Warriors, like, I get it, man. Like, I just flow with it. It is a lot of fun. I am not a Zelda fan. I am not a Zelda hater, but I did not grow up with Zelda. My first Zelda was Wind Waker on GameCube when I was already, like, in middle school. And I got thrown in jail and got stuck and couldn't figure out how to get out, and never picked it back up. Had I been exposed to the original Zelda, like dungeon crawlery style games, I would have loved it. But I did not grow up with it, and so I have no attachment to the story going on in this game. But it's neat to explore the mythos of it, and obviously the Breath of the Wild art style they're going for here is appealing. It's interesting, but I just really love the warrior style game, and so I just get to run around, play as a bunch of different heroes, hack and slash my way. It's been a lot of fun, and like I said, on the Switch with the suspend feature, it's been super easy to pick up and put down. I have had a couple rabbit hole obsessions that have cropped up in the last month that I've been really getting into for specific games. One is the X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged Edition game. This is a really underrated game. I know a lot of people are making videos about it following the Deadpool movie, so there's that, you know, maybe underrated doesn't apply anymore. But it is a game that you cannot officially buy anymore. It was delisted because Activision and Marvel rights and whatever the hell. But it's basically God of War, but you play as Wolverine. And it plays really, really good. So I specifically got into it after seeing a mod for it to replace the Wolverine character with the Deadpool versus Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine costume. And so I have a few different mods set up for it, and I'm working on some other aspects to kind of make it look prettier, because it's an older game, and then older games, especially on PC at the time, had some not performance. It runs like at 400 FPS unlocked, but presentation issues. So far, like I said, I am enjoying the absolute loving crap out of it. It is a blast, but it's really hard to find because you absolutely... I don't normally say this. There is no official way to buy it on PC, so you have to pirate it to play it. And it is really hard. If you did not originally own it, it is really hard to find a clean copy of it. I do recommend if you just want to play the game itself, you can find a used copy on 360 or PS3. That is definitely the way to go. But like I said, it is like God of War, but Wolverine. It is super gory. The action is very fluid. It feels super great. Like, I have minimal complaints about it so far, other than the repack that I'm playing stripped out the audio from the cutscenes, and so I'm having to patch that back in. Similar rabbit hole, I have been modding up the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. These are ARPGs, top-down isometric ARPGs, kind of like Diablo, but you play as all the superheroes from the Marvel games. They released 3 of them. The first 2 were on PS2, 2 PS3 and Xbox 360. The second one was on PS3 and Xbox 360. And then the third one was, for whatever bizarre reason, a Switch exclusive. And so I've not picked it up yet. I need to get it soon. But the original one is another game that's released and been delisted from stores over and over. The original 2006 release is the one you want if you want to find a copy for the PC, because with that one you can get what's called the Holy Grail mod, which adds 50 new characters as well as a ton of different content to the game, because this game released on so many platforms. The first one even released on like PSP and Nintendo DS and everything, and so they did exclusive characters and custom content for every individual platform the game released on, and the community has patched it all back in to the original game. And so if you get the original 2006 release, not the Steam version that released a few years later, that was a quote-unquote remastered version, which was just a port of the Xbox 360 version. That one will not work. You need the original 2006 PC release. You can install these mods and add in so much content. I've been having a lot of fun playing around with the different characters and things like that. I haven't gotten too far into it just because I've been working on the mods for it, but like, it is a glorious time. And then my third rabbit hole has been, I am committing more or less to a full Mortal Kombat franchise playthrough. Not like the first 3 games, but I'm starting on PS2. And I discovered this because my buddy Will Isorb, my community manager, our backing track guy, he informed me that Mortal Kombat 11 has tons of tie-ins from and like references to all of the older games. It continues the story in a good way. It's like an Avengers kind of multiverse kind of thing. It references the movies and everything. I love the movies growing up. I love the games growing up. I kind of stopped playing after 9, which was the reboot, the Mortal Kombat for PS3 and Xbox 360. I originally picked it up on PS3 to play as Kratos and played through it on one of my channels back in the day. Traded it in a GameStop, picked it up on 360 later. So I've since picked up another copy of the PS3 just because I want to be able to play as Kratos again. And I've got the complete edition, so it has all the DLC. And then I also picked up Mortal Kombat XL on PS4, which should have all of the DLC built into it. I already own Mortal Kombat 11 on both Xbox One or Series or whatever and Steam, and I just made sure I have it installed on Steam. It's like 150 gigabytes, but with all of the content, including Aftermath. And so I'm starting... I've both started playing a tiny bit of Mortal Kombat 9 on PC just to see what it looked like. But then I'm starting back with what I believe is the first one on PS2, Deadly Alliance. I'm starting with that one, and I'm just going to play through them. Just like a basic story playthrough, try to unlock what characters I can. I don't want to like completion the game. I just want to play through whatever arcade or story mode is in the game, get a feel for them, and play my way through to Mortal Kombat 10 and 11, and see what happens in 11 before I get 1. And so I've played a little bit of 9 on PC, and then started up with Deadly Alliance on PS2. I'm super stoked for that. A weird kind of uncharacteristic one for me is I've been playing a little bit here and there of Yarg, yet another rhythm game. This is the latest Guitar Hero Rock Band revival project that to me is the absolute best. It stands on the backs of giants of the Clone Heroes and Frets on Fire and whatever in the Guitar Hero modding scene, but it is a completely custom built rhythm game built in Unity that supports every era of guitar and other Rock Band and Guitar Hero instrument. You can use them from basically any console if you have the right adapter. Like right now I'm playing with a Guitar Hero 2 guitar with a basic PS2 to USB adapter. It's got, like I said, it's built on Unity. It has tons of custom stuff. You can use real instruments. You can use MIDI instruments. It supports basically everything. It runs silky smooth, and you can customize the look and feel to whichever game you played. So I have it set up right now to emulate Guitar Hero 3. And then you can even, there's a customs community of like the unofficial stuff, because the game obviously is not going to support you pirating anything. But if you want to back up your stuff from your original Guitar Hero games and Rock Bands, you can pull out the backgrounds and the live sets and stuff from Guitar Hero. I haven't done that yet. And then all of the songs from like every game. And so I have like 1,000 songs in here right now, and it is a freaking blast. I am really struggling. I'm getting older. I don't have the same speed that I used to, and I have a lot of issues with my hands where after a few songs, they hurt like hell. But I absolutely loved Guitar Hero 3 to death growing up, and I'm having a blast playing that again. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of PS2 games, just for my various PS2 videos. I'm not going to fill this one with that. I've also been playing a bunch of games on the PS2 and PS3 emulators to experiment with that, with HD texture packs and whatever. But specifically, I wanted to highlight from my PS2 stuff, Champions of Norath. I finally started a new playthrough. I want to play through the full game, and I'm going to do it in emulator, and I'm going to dump all the textures as I do it and try to do an HD texture pack for it. So I'm very excited for that, because I've been poking around the various HD texture pack communities, and no one's done the Champions games. So it's about time. And again, if someone finds a lossless copy or the CD of the soundtrack and can get it my way, please, 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 I've been looking for that. Multiplayer-wise, I don't really have a whole lot. I've hit this switch where I'm not feeling multiplayer games unless I'm playing with them with friends at the moment. I've put in some time to try to play some Halo Infinite or MCC, and I'll have a good match here and there, but otherwise it just hasn't been a great experience. The only one that I've been consistently just getting a little bit of in and out time with in the past month or so has been Star Wars Hunters on the iPad. And again, that's purely, or on the Switch, but that's purely just, I'll hop in for a match or two or whatever. I'm not taking it seriously or anything like that, but it has been somewhat fun. But that's been pretty much it. Like, that's a lot to play in 1 month. Again, I don't sit down with a single game and play it through. I really need to get back to Dragon Age with my wife. We do have a release date for the new Dragon Age now. A lot of news has come out about Dragon Age that I'm not a fan of, but I'm going to remain open to it. And I still want to finish up Mass Effect 2, but like I said, it has been a month of life change after life change and just busy and stressful and hectic. We just got done painting my kiddo's room, so things have been wild. Hopefully I'll have more time as we transition into fall here. I am so excited that it's fall. It is toasty right now here in the studio, but this morning it was 57 degrees. I got to put pants on. I was cold. It was awesome. Yeah, let me know what you're playing lately in the comments below. And remember to be kind, rewind. Go check out last month's video if you are interested in what I was playing last month. Or go check out my buddy BBK's video. He's been doing these videos as well and has been the inspiration for me to finally start these back up after so many years. So go check that out, linked in the description. And remember to be kind, rewind. I'm still getting over my ick. We've been sick for like 2 weeks. I'm still getting over it. Blah.